Handicapper Steve here, handicapping opening day from Santa Anita Park. It is Sunday, the 28th of December, 2025. Gonna look at all the stakes races on the program. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on X at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean around the world. A couple days later than the traditional opening day at Santa Anita, but it's finally here. A great card. And make sure you go to Santa Anita today for your calendar every year for the last like 15 or 6 probably 16, 17 years now. Actually, I've been getting my calendar IB mailed to me here in New York City, but still, it's one of those good traditions. Years ago here in New York at Aqueduct, they used to have the New Year's Day traditional giveaway of calendars. They stopped that about maybe 10 years ago, but maybe they'll bring it back next year at Belmont. I doubt it, but you never know. But great card today from Santino. Races 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to look at. So let's get to it right now. The fifth race from Santa Anita. It is the Mathis Mile. It's a grade two event going for a $200,000 purse. Race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 7 horses going 1,600 meters or a mile on the turf course. Going to take the 3 horse Namaron as a top selection. 3-5-2-7 for me. In the superfecta, 3-5-2-7 super, top selection 3 horse Namaron. This 3-year-old gelding by Amaron here. John Sadler trains. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent appearance came 25th of October at Santania, a mile and the eighth in the Grade 2 Twilight Derby, and he finished third by 2 lengths that day. I just don't think he handled the extra furlong that he was getting off his previous race. He handled the mile. It looked like he was going to win by open legs, but when that final furlong came up on him, he just yielded out of it. Test score caught this horse. Maz caught this horse. I do think coming here off the bench back to a mile trip should see a strong pace. I think he could find a trip a little bit better than he did last time out. He ran two back in the Gun Runner Kentucky Downs, mile and 6 September. First start in the Sadler barn with the new connections. He finished third by 1 3/4 lengths. He had inside poster and he sat back early. He moved a little bit wide late, but he was gaining. Not a bad race in the feed. Prior to that, he was running in Germany. He wasn't running half bad at bottom of the mile in a local Group 3. A very good place that day where he again gained some ground. He was carrying low weight also in that handicap. A race prior to that in the local Group 3 at Trailfield with the mile 16th high weight, winning by 2 1/4 lengths. Again, he was much the best on the front end. Refreshing here, training well in the PETA, back to a mile trip. I think it's going to be his preferred race, his preferred trip. 32 and 0 is not a good price, but I think he can win. I think 5 horse friendly confines for Richard Balzers and Irad can win also. He ran in the Hollywood Derby over the mile late earlier in November or later in November. We finished sixth by 3.5 lengths that day, and he was with them early on. He just never had the turn of foot. I just thought he was flat. Prior to that in the Let It Ride over the mile at Del Mar, he finished second by 3/4 length, where he got caught late, but he ran his heart out on the front end and won an optional 50 at Del Mar quite impressively. He likes this turf course. He placed in the Pasadena on this course back in the spring. 7-2. There's a pick three that begins with this race. I'll definitely use him there. But to recap my selection for the fifth from Santa Anita, it is the Mathis Mile. Going to take the 3 horse Namaron. Give kudos to the 5 horse friendly confines. 3-5-2-7 super, 3-5 in the multi race to the sixth race. It is the Laffit Pincay Junior Stakes. It's a grade two event going for a $200,000 purse race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 7 horses going 1,700 meters or a mile 16th on the main track. Gonna take the 1 horse Nizos as a top selection. 1-3-6-4 for me in the superfecta. 1-3-6-4 super. Top selection of 1 horse Nizos. This 4-year-old colt by Nyquist here. Bob Baffert trains. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent appearance came in the Breeze Cup Dirt Mile at Del Mar, a mile on the 1st November. He got back to a very good race, winning by a head. He sat back early. He saw a pace to close up into, and he got that down the lane with the stablemate Citizens Bull. He grinded it out, but he got the job done. A very good performance. A 105, second career best spotter there. Not a bad race in the feed. He ran prior to that at Del Mar with the mile 16th in the San Diego Handicap, where he won by 2 1/4 lengths. And again, didn't have a lot of forwardly pace that day. He let the faster horses go. But when he said go, Flavian, he came home clear. 102 Buyer, very good run. And then probably the race of his life here at Santina. 7 furlongs in the triple bend, winning by 5.5 lengths. He only had 3 other rivals that day, but at 20 cents a dollar, he kept going. 108 Buyer, second off the bench. That was quite impressive. Since getting him to the racetrack soundly this season, he's really become a great horse. Coming here to a mile 16th, I think he could find grip to win. The 3 horse Nevada Beach, a little bit lightly raced, but his race hasn't recently have been half bad. He won the Los Al Derby just to begin the streak, came back to win the Goodwood against older horses. Birds Cup Classic, they were just asking a little bit too much too soon, but he came back to win the Native Diver at Del Mar quite impressively in late November. Refreshing here back to these quality horses back to a longer trip. I think he can find a piece of it. I would give him a shot on the pick six that begins with this race. To recap my selection for the six now from Santa Anita, it is the Laffit Pincay Junior Stakes. Going to take the one horse Nizos. Give kudos to the three horse Nevada Beach. 1364 Super. 1-3 in the multi race. The eighth event now from Santa Anita. It is the Brea Stakes. It's a grade one event going for a $300,000 purse race for 3-year-old fillies. Field of 11 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs in the La Brea. I'm going to take the number three horse 5G. I'm going to go 3918 in the superfecta. 3918 super. Top section of three horse 5G. This 3-year-old filly by Vacoma here. George Weaver Cranes. Ira Jr. gets to mount. I ran the horse most recently on the 29th of March at Goldstream. Mile 16th in the Grade 2 Goldstream Park Oaks, and he won by 2 1/4 lengths. And when this horse got out of the gate, that was it. Walked around the race course, even with the short finish line and the short stretch finish line at mile 16th dirt race at Goldstream. He kept going. That was an impressive run, 90 bar. Coming off the bench, George Weaver, great numbers off a long refreshing. I think this horse could really, get a good race back to the winner's circle today. I also like that they've been training this horse locally since his last race. That he has a race over the track or training, a workout over the track. Half mile, a week and a half, going 49 flat. The 22nd best workout, 48. Ran prior to the Honeybee at Oaklawn over the mile 16th. And he finished second by a length that day and had a very wide trip. He left out of the gate to go to good position. I think he just, yielded in the final few strides of the race. I do think using the horse so early, it really cost him late that day. And then the test run New Year's Day at Gulfstream over the mile, winning by 9 lengths from a tracking trip. He really came home quite impressively. Been been a couple months since his last race, but he's really been, when he runs on the racetrack, this horse has really run well. 7-2, I know it's not the best price in the world, but I think she could win. I think the 9 horse here, Formula Rosa from Mark Latt and Mike Smith, can win also. Ran most recently on the 24th of August at Del Mar, going 6.5 in the Redondo Beach, where he finished second by 3 3/4 lengths, where he just couldn't catch Sweet Azteca, who just really outgamed his horse late. But first started running against stakes quality horses. I thought she ran hard out. Prior to that, going six in the optional 40 at Del Mar. First started in about 8 months. He won by 6 1/4 lengths, and on the front and off the route, one in hand, very good race. And then mid-February on debut locally, going 6 furlongs in main special weight, winning by 4 lengths again. Won quite impressively on the front end. Has run some very fast races. Coming here off the bench back to a 7 furlong trip. It wouldn't surprise me if this horse gets a piece of it. I'll use this horse and the late pick for it begins with this race. But to recount my selection for the eighth from Santa Anita now, it is the grade one La Brea. Going to take the 3 horse 5G. Give kudos to the 9 horse Formula Rosa. 3918 Super. 3-9 in the multi race to the ninth race from Santa Anita. It is the San Gabriel Stakes. It's a grade three event going for a $100,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds and upwards here. We have a field of 11 horses going 1,800 meters or a mile and 1/8 on the Santa Anita turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 8 horse Astronomer. We're going to go 8-11-9-4 in the superfecta. 8-11-9-4 super. Top selection 8 horse Astronomer. This 6-year-old gelding by Air Force Blue. Simon Callahan trains. Antonio Frisou gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 29th of November at Del Mar, mile 16th in Seabiscuit handicap, second by a half length. He was off a little bit of refreshing that day, but he sat back early. He had a little traffic trouble. He just couldn't get out late until very late stage of the race, but he ran his heart out. I think refreshing back to a longer trip. He hasn't won here at Santino, but he's run some sneaky good races locally. I think he could be in a spot to find some pieces late. He ran two back in a handicap at Kentucky Downs a mile on the 31st of August, and he finished fourth by 5 lengths. And he was with them early on, but then he just came up flat. I just think he got beat by the horse on the day. And then option 100 of Del Mar, a mile 9th of August. He finished second by 1/4 lengths there, and he didn't get out of the gate so clearly, and he was just wide, but He ran his heart out with a 94 Bayer. He ran this one last year where he finished 7 by 5 1/4 lengths, where he just saw not a lot of good pace to close up into it. They went quite slow for a Southern California turf race. Came back to run the Thunder Road after that, where he just really ran a crap race. But if he can run a race like he ran like the Del Mar Mile in 2024, he could win, or even like the Wicker in 2024. He's just training well in the Tapeta since his last race. 92. I think he get back to some winning ways. I think the 11 horse here, who is 911 Turbo for Neil Drysdale and Hector Berrios going also. Most recently in the mile and a half, definitely with Turf Cup at Del Mar, he finished third by 3 3/4 lengths, where he just needs something more late, but he ran his heart out. Prior to that, in the lounge race with mile 16th at Keelan, he finished fourth by 5 1/4 lengths, where again, he was running against very tough horses. He just missed late, but he got down the race course well. He hasn't won since 2023. But if you look at this horse has been running all over. He's from everywhere from Hawthorne to Colonial to Del Mar to Kentucky Downs to Aqueduct in the last couple of seasons. And everywhere he goes, he runs these good races. The only subpar race was actually at Hawthorne in that Care Memorial in 2024, where he saw very soft ground. He likes fast ground. He's been close but no scar as of recently. I think coming here, not ideal poster, but I think he can find a trip. I'll use him a shot. I give him a shot on the late pick four. But to recount my selection for the ninth from Santa Anita, it's grade three San Gabriel. Gonna take the number eight horse Astronomer. Give kudos in the 11 horse 911 Turbo, 1194 Super, 811 in the multi race. The 10th race, the traditional opening day feature from Santa Anita. It is the Malibu Stakes. It's a grade one event going for a $300,000 purse race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 10 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs in the Malibu. I'm going to take the number 10 horse goal orientated as a top selection. We're going to go 10-3-5-8 in the superfecta. 10-3-5-8 super, top selection 10 horse goal orientated. This 3-year-old colt by not this time. Bob Baffert trains. Joel Rosario gets the mount. Ran the horse most recently in the 1st November at Del Mar, a mile of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, and he finished 6 by 14 lengths that day. And he was just wide and just got beat by very classier horses that day. I just think going through this horse's form cycle, he wants to cut back and trip. He wants a one-turn mile or a one-turn 7 furlongs like he's going to get today. He's going to get it, and I think he's going to thrive with it. He ran two back in the Pennsylvania Derby over the 9 furlongs at Parks, 20th of September. He finished third by 4 1/4 lengths that day, and he was with them early on, but then he just kind of, beat. I think it took off clear. Magnitude was the next start winner, really ran terrifically. This horse just wasn't getting into it that day. And then the Haskell at Monmouth over the mile and eighth. He finished third by 3/4 lengths. He had a wide trip that day. He was gaming it a little bit to the wire, but journalism just grinded it out to the wire to get the job done. And then they asked a little bit too much too soon in the Preakness. He finished an okay fourth that day, but he just got beat by better forces on that day. He broke his maiden quite impressively here at Santina in April on Santina Derby weekend, and then came back to win on Derby Day at Churchill in the slot quite impressively. Refreshing here back to a cutting back trip, which I think he's been crying out for. At 5-1, I think he has a very live chance of winning. I think the three horse at Matticat Road for Bob Baffert and Irad, if you can't tell, the Irad super here for me. But another horse I think could really improve back to a trip. Hasn't won since breaking his main here on the on this fixture last year, going six, where he won by half a length, closing it from nowhere. A very good race. Came back to run in the Bob Lewis after that, where he just was a little bit flat that day, and then came back to front of the Rebel, where he had a decent place, and then just hitting the wall in the Florida Derby after that. But when they cut this horse back and trip, he really improved a lot in the 10-day mile and the Woody Stevens after that. He had a very wide trip in the Alan Jerkins, which probably cost him. But refreshing here, second off the bench with a good poster. Another horse. It wouldn't surprise me if he wins. The key with this race is which back horse is going to win. I think it's a two horse race between goal orientated and Matticat Road, but this is going to be an exciting Malibu this year. So recount my selection for the 10th from Santina. It's a great one, Malibu. Going to take the 10 horse goal orientated. Give kudos to the 3 horse Matticat Road. 10-3-5-8 super, 10-3 in the multi race. The nightcap on opening day, the 11th race from Santanita. It is the American Oaks. It's a grade one event going for a $300,000 purse race for 3-year-old fillies. Field of 11 horses going 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on the turf course. I'm going to take the number 10 horse here, who is Stila 10-3-2-4 for me in the superfecta. 10-3-2-4 Super, top 6 10 horse Estila. This 3-year-old filly by Phoenix of Spain. Richard Baltas trains. Tiago Pereira gets the mount. Horse hasn't been seen since the 4th of October. That came at Newmarket in the UK. A mile on the Rolling Mile in the Group 1 Sun Chariot Stakes. And the horse finished sixth by 9 1/4 lengths. Facing older horses that afternoon, she didn't get out of the gate so clearly, but she sat back early. She moved a little bit late, and I think she's been crying out for a mile quarter. She's going to get it today. She's get a good mid-pack position. And I think she's going to make that one run late and really improve. She's also the kind of horse I think she's going to go up a lot with some fast ground. She ran two back in the Group 1 Matron at Leopardstown a mile on the 13th of September and finished third by 1 3/4 lengths. Again, not getting out of the gate so clearly, which is sometimes a thing with her. But she sat back early. Again, made that one run late where she really gained some ground. Not a bad race in the feed. Then in the Group 1 Free Rothschild at Deauville over the mile, she finished eighth by 3 1/4 lengths that day. Fallen Angel beat this horse quite a few times this season, or actually in our last three. It's good that Fallen Angel's not running this one today. But this horse, she just wasn't really getting into it. But that was a perfect Group 1 quality race. This is a grade one here in America, but could be a grade three in Europe or a listed race in Europe. So I think she's getting serious clash relief. Like I said, I think even to a longer trip, it should really suit her. I'm going to use her on the ticket. I think the three-horse clips for Jose Ortiz and Three DeVoe could possibly upset here. Most recently on the 7th of November over the Mile Church in the Lowndes race, she won by a head that day. And coming from mid-pack, she flew home clear. Very nice return to the winner's circle. Not a high bar, but still a very good run. Came back prior to that optional 100 Saratoga, Mount Nathan the Melon, where she finished second by 3 quarters length, where she didn't get around the race course well. She had a bit of a trouble trip around the far turn, but she was gaining some ground there. And then August at Saratoga over the mile 16th in a main special weight, winning by a length that day, coming from mid-pack. Very good run. Since coming up to the green stuff, she's really improved a lot. Another horse going to a mile quarter should suit her well. I'll give her a shot in the late pick four to upset, possibly a small upset at 6-1. But she's my selection for the 11th now from San Anita. It's a grade one American Oaks. Going to take the 10 horse Estila. Give kudos to the 3 horse Cliffs. 10-3-2-4 Super, 10-3 in the multi-race. So with that being said, good luck to all. Please follow me on X at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.